Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
The thing is about trading right now, we have a very exciting quarter coming upon us. I know in the last few days we may have seen, a lot of, dullness in the markets, lower volatility. And I know that if you're an equities trader, you know where I'm coming from because, we see where the VIX is and we see the ranges in the equity markets and we see the volume drying up. Folks, I guarantee you that will change. We're going to go from a period of low volatility to an expansion of volatility soon. And I think that the index currency products that are offered at the ISE, and you got to type in their symbols on your securities accounts, and you'll see, and you can look at their options, chart them with any charting package for the most part has them available, and you'll see that there's some potential ways of trading this market because I believe there are some opportunities that lie ahead. And I will say, as a trader, with opportunities, there's always opportunities of profits, and there's always opportunities of risk and loss. But that's the neat thing about using some option strategies is that we can define what our risk potentially can be, especially with long side options, whether you're buying puts or buying calls. So folks, do be aware of that. Once you see a pattern or a trading opportunity, choosing the right option strategy should include what your risk and profit objective and timing as it can be, and then apply it. For example, as I've just mentioned, if we're looking for a move in October, then don't be buying October options. They expire before the month ends. You want to be looking at the November or December expiration. Using options, it's like flying a plane. You need a flight plan. How do you know where the market is going to go if you don't know where it's been? How can you be bullish or bearish if you don't know what seasonal forces there are? It's kind of like, if you're trading in the marketplace and you don't know a hurricane's coming, the ocean could be, wave. There's some cross currents underneath the surface, right? Riptides. You can't see them, but they're there. And that's what the quarter represents, the end of the quarter. There's some riptides underneath the market. There are changes coming from not just here in the U.S., but from a global sense, as we start to see what you don't know yet. But there are end of fiscal years, there are quarterly adjustments, there is money changing hands from multi-conglomerate corporations, then you will see money flows, and just to point a few things out, interest rate differentials that also have an impact on a currency's value versus U.S. dollar. So there's a lot of opportunities coming. The options is a great way of playing it, and by using these seasonalities as we just discussed, we may be able to look a little bit longer term and see if the macro sense kind of matches up with the historical price patterns. In other words, is it plausible that the euro currency could back off from here versus the U.S. dollar? Is it plausible that by mid-November or early November, the euro currency could rise up against the U.S. dollar by year's end? And, there's some really good statistics on that, and I wanted to share that with you in today's presentation because it is upcoming, and it's always good to tell people before it happens and also say, listen, if it doesn't, at least here on the chart points of interest, here's what our potential risk is, and here's what our potential rewards are. So choosing the right strike price, the expiration date and strategies, it all can be achieved by using past chart points. And you and I just did that today on a couple markets, the yen, and also the EUI index using the euro currencies. And just wanted to share with you that you can look at these products. The person's pivot point or even pivot point analysis does help to harness trading opportunities. So if you're interested in further information, any of these books can be purchased on Amazon. Technical Trading Tactics was one of the first books I ever wrote on introducing candle patterns with pivot points. This is my favorite book, Candlesticks and Pivot Point Trading Triggers. It's almost 300 pages. It really defines about trading and methodology and setups and triggers and entries and exits and stops. And if you're just trading currencies, this is a great book as well, Forex Conquered. And if you go to my website, nationalfutures.com, if you're interested in more home study courses, we have several different courses and educational packages available for investors. And I wanted to give thanks to the ISE for allowing me to come and present to you, the individual investor, my methodologies and ways of trading in the markets and the upcoming potential opportunities that lie ahead for the fourth quarter. The ISE has ongoing educational events. As you can see right now, there's many fine traders that will be giving further educational topics coming up. And I would like, before passing or maybe I should pass the baton back to Steve right now, and field some questions if that's possible. Steve, thank you very much for allowing me to present, and I pass the baton back to you, sir.
Thanks, John. I just want to say thank you. As always, great job. I learned something from you every time. I saw a question from Chris. Chris wants to know, how do you decide, based on your seasonality studies, should you be trading, how do you decide spot FX, currencies, as you said, you've been trading for many, many years, currency futures, I should say, currency ETFs or something new, or the ISEFX options. How do you decide, you personally, how do you decide, based on your own forecast, which of those tools you would use, vehicles?
You know what? Who asked that question?
Chris.
Chris, if
Yes.
you're in the audience and this was live, I'd come up and shake your hand because literally that was a pretty good question. All right. I had mentioned earlier today's presentation where I look at the opportunity and I see where the market's at, and then I'm able to check out what my position size might be. Do you remember I said that, the size of my position?
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly it. For me, trading spot Forex, it has some advantages, but as for in and out every single day, the futures offers enough liquidity for me so that I don't day trade spot Forex as much as I do futures. For position trading, and if I'm going to put on, and I think there's a major turn coming in the market, and I have to analyze, and I said earlier, so pay attention to this answer. I said earlier, with seasonals, you may be off a week, but that could be a difference of 148 or 144, right? And that on a spot Forex or on a futures, that's 400 pips. That means a world of difference, right? For an options trader, if I'm early and I want to lightly test the waters and start to build a position, and I know that I'm looking for a move to happen, say, in the next 2-3 weeks, I can look at maybe 60 to 90-day options out there. I'll start to nibble and if I'm bullish, I'll start to buy some call options. And I'll start to build a position and really increase, my leverage exposure and start to build my size of my position. So it really depends on my horizon. If I'm looking for a big move in the market and it's going to take over time, then I'll use an option strategy because, number one, it's not going to utilize as much trading capital to devote to that. I'm defining what my risk is. I don't have to wake up at 3 in the morning and find out that, take no offense to this, it's not politically correct, but it's going to come out of my mouth anyway. Some clown at the ECB or the Bank of England came out and said some obscene comment which made a short-term adverse move in the market that would give you and I, a financial heart attack. So by having whether I'm day trading using the futures markets, if I'm looking or swing trading, if I'm holding a position over the weekend or I'm looking for a position trade, I will utilize options.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.